All right. Good morning, my friends. Welcome back. Thursday, second day of March. Fresh start to the month. And we are going to kick it off right today. Feeling good. Last night, I put out a Asian session video at 7 p.m. Eastern to go over the markets, and markets were just, as you'll see, I'm sure you can see, markets were kind of choppy last night, so nothing good. But regardless, I think there could be some decent setups. What's going on, Shanine? Good morning, buddy. Peter, happy Thursday afternoon from Kenya. Happy Thursday afternoon to you as well. Thursday morning for us here in the States. Awesome. Good to have you guys here. All right, let's take a look, see what's going on today. News events, economic calendar, unemployment claims at 8:30 in the morning for the US dollar. Yeah. So, nothing really too crazy to keep an eye out for as far as economic events go. So let's move on. What's going on? Amin. Amin. We'll go with Amin. Hopefully that's right. What's going on, dude? Hope you're having a good morning. All right, so we're gonna hop on with the dollar as always, and remove drawings and see if we can figure out what the hell it's doing, because it's doing what it's been doing, and it's just back in a consolidated pattern, right? So you have this previous liquidity area here. I'm in. That's right. Perfect. Yeah, so we're in this previous liquidity area here, and now we're just consolidating just south of that zone. 4 hour right now, we have this trend line with these ascending lows. However, one thing to note, right? So one thing to note is, although we broke this trend line, this could be a potential flag, bullish flag, right, to then break higher. So I definitely want to consider that in my analysis in the overall direction here. But as far as what I'm expecting today, I'd expect this flag to hold. I'm not going to anticipate a break yet, right? I'm going to expect that this channel will hold, and we're going to start seeing weak price action from the Dixie today. And then until it breaks through this high and confirms this flag's broken, then we'll look for buys. So what's going on? Pagisty? Hope you're having a good day so far. So here's what we're going to look at for the Dixie. If we break through these current session highs, then I think we're definitely going to be in buy mode, and we're going to start continuing higher. However, we do have an hourly bearish engulfing, and it does seem like we're getting some rejection at this zone here, so I'd expect some sells. And so looking for a weak Dixie today. Looking at equities, S&P could potentially have buys if the Dixie is weak. Let's take a look at recent price action here. Price just came down to retest this previous breakout point here. We filled this volume zone, left a nice rejection candle here on the 4 hour chart. Now we're continuing higher. So what I'm looking at for the current price action, right? We had this spill overnight, broke through lows, based, and now we're continuing higher, breaking through this previous pivot point here. And so now this is a play that I play often. Is I'd like to see either a retest of VWAP here to create a higher low and then continue higher up into this rejection zone up in here, or this volume zone in here. So looking for buys today in equities. Benjamin, good morning. Awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I'm glad you're here live. It's a better experience live, right? I mean, you get to be here with us. So I'm happy to have you. If you have any questions while I'm doing my analysis, drop them in the chat. S&P 500 looking for buys today on a pullback towards VWAP, which is going to be 39.33. And we'll have pretty clean price action looking left, maybe towards 39.60 area. Let's add an alert. Because you can tell that we're starting to change market characteristics here by creating, these lower lows, based pretty decently here. If you look at candlesticks, broke higher, pullback, left a nice big liquid rejection wick, pushed higher through this previous pivot point, and so now you want to see something like this, right? And so it's just candlestick psychology. Looking at the NASDAQ, I assume it's in a pretty similar situation here. We have this previous rejection point, actually broke through those lows here, grabs liquidity, closed with a nice doji, and now we're pushing higher. So looking very similar to the S&P, maybe even a little bit better as far as price action goes on the downside. So similar play, breaking through these highs here. So I'd like to see a retest of VWAP for a continuation higher, back up into 11,964 zone. But S&P's already through its high a little more, so it has a little bit more range to it. I'm gonna stick with the S&P over the NASDAQ today. The Dow, not nearly as clean. Doesn't have the same structure here. So I'm going to stick with the S&P. It looks the cleanest. So S&P is going to be my idea for the indices today, what I'm going to watch. Taking a look at gold, the metals. Remove some of these drawings here. Cool. So the daily chart came up into this resistance zone, rejected it. Current daily gave us a lower wick, dipped into this area. We've had rejection before. So the thing with the current daily is you have to understand how price reacts in certain zones. And so we had this breakout point here back in December. And so anytime price is above 1822, we get bullish price action. Pretty strong run out of it, right? We had a dip below, came right back above, had a lower wick in this same rejection zone, even over here as well. And so I'd expect that just looking at the daily, we could have a potential bullish run here in gold. Looking at the 4-hour, 4-hour does have this rejection zone, so it's not super clean to the upside on the 4-hour. We are finding support here, though. And so looking at price action, we've had this double bottom, rejection wick, ran through, gave us a retest of this 1824 zone, broke out, and now we're sitting with a consolidation right above that previous retest point. So price action is looking good for the buy side on the 4-hour, 2-hour, nice bullish engulfing, creating these higher lows. 1 hour, very similar. So, I mean, you could potentially look for a play as far as a retest of this breakout consolidation and then a run back towards these highs. Something I consider, because that's also where the point of control is sitting for the day. This is right around where the point of control is. It's also a previous area you've seen rejection to the downside as well. A lot of buyers came into play here. So I will consider taking gold longs in this zone. That also goes in line with, okay, we have a weak Dixie potentially. So we should have a nice bullish gold if it plays out correctly. Something to keep in mind is, you know, where we were rejecting right now. We're rejecting the red-green line. So we closed and opened this red line right here. So we're getting a rejection from it, retesting point of control, then to break through that red to green line and go bullish for the day. Silver's a lot weaker. So you're seeing the gold to silver ratio rise again. Still overbought, but we are now on a bullish sequence here for gold to silver. And you're now seeing gold outperform silver clearly on this chart. So you're going to see a gold be stronger than silver today. And you're seeing actually a weak silver. It's bearish. However, if you do take a look at silver here, we are in this big rejection zone. We're now retesting this bullish engulfing, this previous found support to potentially then continue higher. So silver could be a decent longs to catch up to that gold to silver ratio, but it just looks too bearish here, so I'm not going to play it. So we're looking at gold today. Oil, the liquid, the black gold here. Daily charts looking bullish, breaking out through this previous resistance. Looking at the 4-hour bullish close through this big rejection area. 1 hour looking very similar. 1 hour is coming down to retest that breakout point, retesting VWAP to then potentially continue higher with these higher lows. Could be decent for oil for a run back up towards like 79 even, but again, that run up to 79 is pretty choppy. So there are better plays out there today. Until oil gets out of this just disgusting range, unlikely to trade it. So moving on to currencies. Alrighty. Pound, yen. Taking a look at the daily chart. Indecisive right now, right? Because the problem with what's going on with pound yen is, let me get rid of some of these lines here. We had a nice bullish breakout of this previous consolidation, right? So we're on a bullish run, had a retest, had a continuation. However, we ran into a heavy wall of sellers in this 165, 166 area. And so now what you're seeing is price is consolidating because it wants to go bullish, but it's met with a wall of sellers. So now we're consolidating here. And so it's just a matter of time until you figure out who's going to be in control here and who's going to give up their, line of defense. And so looking at current price action here, we have this low, lower low, but now potentially higher low, this high, lower high. And so now we're sitting here in between a potential lower high and a higher low. And so we're in this range. And so I would consider trading maybe a move out of this range, but it's very, very choppy, very consolidated. So if we break through the highs of 163,900, then we could potentially be on a now bullish run back up towards 165, 166, back up into this zone here. Because at that point, you got to remember, we're then changing market characteristics by then, okay, we're not creating lower lows anymore. We're now creating higher lows. And then we're breaking through these highs and creating higher highs. So if we can break through this 163,900, I'll look for a break and retest for longs back up to fill some of this range here. Probably looking for an area towards like 165 even. As far as sells, I'd consider sells. So this 4 hour, particularly the 4 hour, we had a 4 hour bearish engulfing. Current 4 hour is about halfway through, a little more than halfway through. Came up to retest this resistance. And so now we're going to do one of two things, right? We're now going to reject it and start heading down and breaking its own low. And then we're continuing bearish back down towards this previous 4 hour support. Or we're going to stay consolidated and we're just going to stay close bullish, and then maybe a breakout, or it could stay consolidated. So that's why I'm not trading this range, because we could easily consolidate today looking at price action. And so for sells, gold's triggering my alert already. For sells, I'll look for a break below 163.250. And then, but the problem is we have this chop here. So, the range on that is only, it's like 30 pips. The problem is that'd be like a 1-to-1 in this scenario. So sells would have to be below 163. And then you could potentially get a pushback down into like 162, 200. Because if you notice that, where's this big rejection? You have a rejection here, and this big rejection wick. So that's where buyers step in. So if we look for sells, it'll be something like this. But ideally, buys are cleaner than sells. So I hope I get buys, but we'll see. I'm going to add an alert for that breakout. Let me take a look at gold real quick. Yeah, I'm going to take a half position here since it's so early. Maybe closer to VWAP. I'm going to take a half position if we can reach the VWAP area. And once we reach VWAP, if we can close with a bullish candlestick or find support there first, then I'll confirm, then I'll add my second position. So if gold can reach VWAP here, I'll add half, and then we'll see if we can find support, and then look for an add for a push higher. So let me add an alert a little farther down towards VWAP. All right, moving on. We got our pound yen alerts. Pound AUD. Man, pound was very, very choppy last night with pound yen, pound AUD. Not liking this range at all. Looking at the 4 hour. 4 hours now sitting at the 61.8% retracement from this breakout. We are finding some support in this area here, potentially closing with a 4 hour bullish engulfing, potentially. 2 hour finding support as well, creating this higher low. So buys on pound look ideal today. They look better than sells, that is. But for pound AUD, I want to see a break through these highs here. Maybe a retest point of control, and then a run. through into this resistance here. So that'll be my idea for pound AUD. Little choppy, but that's why I want to wait for this to get out of the chop and then retest maybe. So we'll look for that. Pound USD. Didn't quite reach this support zone that I would have wanted to see. However, we didn't reach it here either. And bringing that across, we are at a potential area that we could just reject because it's rejected before. Looking at the 2 hour finding some rejection, bullish engulfing. We did fill this move here. Let's see here with gold. So this area here looking left has been a big area of rejection before. A lot of liquidity wicks in here, a lot of rejection right here as well. Rejection. So this is a strong area of support that we're now sitting on top of. But again, you do got to remember that this whole area in general is a consolidation, more or less. It's been just consolidated for a while here. So taking this trade is a little more aggressive and almost like forcing a move, right? So considering that it's 7:28 in the morning and we're seeing just this strong rejection here from this potential breakout, I'm going to hold off and probably wait for a confirmation because it's looking pretty weak here. No top wick. Sellers came into the market here. Another point of control sitting right on top. We have two strong volume nodes, right? One volume node sitting right above, another volume node sitting right below. So we're now sitting and ping-ponging with this volume node here, which is what you're clearly seeing in previous price action as well, right here. Ping-ponging in this volume node. So just with that in mind, and considering I'm still going over the markets, I'm just going to sit on my hands for now, and then I'll take a look at gold when I'm done to see if there's anything I want to do. Pound USD, like I was talking about, 1 hour bullish engulfing, but we are still creating lower highs and lower lows, but we're still finding maybe some support here, so not as clean. So I'm gonna probably stay away. We've just been creating this current bearish sequence here with these lower highs. So I don't want to buy into that, and I don't necessarily want to sell into this. Or sell into this. So pound yen's just getting too tight in here at this point for me. Or sorry, pound USD. So I'm gonna sit on my hands on that one. AUD USD, again, it's still just consolidating. The problem right now trading dollar pairs is the dollar is consolidating. So looking at AUD USD, stuck in a consolidation as well. Looking at the daily chart, finding a lot of support in this previous area of liquidity. I had liked buys from yesterday's bullish engulfing above this breakout here, but we're back now down to the support, back down to point of control. So this could easily just be a consolidation. Creating these lower highs. So maybe if we break out eventually. But until we break out and maybe form structure, I'm going to sit on my hands on that one. Euro USD. Daily had a nice bullish breakout yesterday. We're now coming back down to retest this support. It's also the point of control on the daily. Also where we had a lot of liquidity wicks and rejection before. 4 hour sitting right on top of the zone here. Had a nice breakout, creating these higher lows and higher highs. Currently sitting at this retracement of around 50%, 61.8% retracement. So buys potentially for Euro USD which would go in line with my bearish idea for the Dixie. But I needed to find some support here. One bullish candlestick's not enough. What I'd like to see ideally is Euro USD to break through this current trend line here, create a higher low, and then I'll look for longs. And then I think that could be a very clean play. So that's what I'm going to look for Euro USD. I think that could be really clean today. But again, remember, the markets have been setting up later currently, right? We've been getting the plays later towards London close, 10 o'clock-ish area. So, 10 a.m. Eastern, that is. So definitely keep that in mind. Which is why I think we're seeing some consolidation, and then maybe we'll get a late day breakout here. So keeping an eye on Euro USD. If we get this breakout, add alert. USD CAD. Chopping around. Don't think we'll get any plays on this today, so we're going to move on. USD JPY. Problem is I don't like when I see exhaustion to the downside like this. Resistance to the upside right here. So we're kind of sitting in this tight range for USD JPY. We are creating these decent higher lows. But again, I'm looking for a bearish Dixie today. And we're also still wedging in here. And we're creating this resistance for USD JPY. But we still, with that in mind, we still have this drop from news back in December. Still working to fill that. But again, the Dixie's consolidating, so I don't think we get that breakout today. Unless the Dixie can actually get moving here, which could. But we'll just have to see and wait for it to actually break through this high if it does. Good morning. Yeah. What's up?
Say good morning.
Oh, good morning.
Yeah, I got a horrible morning right now.
Yeah?
Yeah, so, well, it's good, but it's bad for me because, remember I told you I'm on 4 different platforms?
Yeah.
For Forex and crypto. So I set 4 trades on 4 different platforms. One of them is up 6%, one of them is up 3%, and one of them is up 2%. And two are up 2%.
Shit.
Well, they were supposed to all be up 6%, but they're some of the rules were kind of messed up, I guess. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah. Damn.
it is what it is.
Let me finish up this this YouTube thing, wrap this up, then I'm gonna hop off real quick. So yeah, so that's pretty much everything I'm looking at today. So the main things I'm looking at are S&P, gold, pound yen, pound AUD, euro USD. But again, I'd need to see some type of clear signs that we're going somewhere, right? Because we're just seeing a lot of consolidation. S&P looks decent, but we'll see. So you guys, you know my levels, you know what I'm looking at. Create your own bias as well, and we'll just have to see if the Dixie's going to break out here, or if we get that reversal. I don't trade the Swiss franc, but let me take a look. ADCHF. All right, let's see. Creating these lower highs. I mean, you think it's good for a sell now? It's already selling off. I wouldn't be selling it now. I definitely wouldn't be selling it right now. That's for sure. The problem is if you're selling it right now, you're a little late, right? I mean, you're selling into this exhaustion zone. You're selling into this support. I mean, you know, this sell, the better sell would have been somewhere right around, hop down the lower time frames. Didn't really give you a great entry, but I mean, this would have been a better, well, you're still selling this support. I'm not sure this would have given you a great entry, to be honest. You have support here from earlier, resistance. It was just consolidating. So what I wanted to see was then maybe a break below, retest and run down, something like this. But the problem is if you're selling now, you've already, you're already, let's see, you're already 11 pips away from where I wanted to sell, and you're already now selling into this support. That's why I don't trade the Swiss. I find the Swiss to be very choppy. This is exactly why, because I can tell how choppy this. I mean, this chart's very choppy. I mean, you can go for the sell by all means. It's just not an A+ setup, and you want to take A+ setups if you're going to be a consistent trader, right? And selling into support like this is not an A+ setup. So if you want to look for a pushback down to this support here, maybe look for some lower time frame move like this. But other than that, not sure. But yeah, you place the sell limit. Nice. Okay. Well, good luck with that. I gotta hop off and go on Zoom with my mentorship group. So if you guys are looking for some help or some, or if we're looking for a trading community, got the link on the screen. Hop on in. We'll love to have you. So I want to leave it at that. I'm gonna hop off on Zoom and have a great rest of your day, guys. I hope you have great trading. And yeah, I'll see you later. Thanks for hopping on the stream.